Okay, we'll ask Becky if she'll call the roll.
Commissioner Blakemore.
Present.
Commissioner Askew.
Here.
Chairman Whitfield.
Here.
Commissioner Hart.
Here.
Commissioner Stoltz.
Present.
All right, all members are present tonight. Thank you for that. You do have the agenda that was posted on the Facebook and website a week ago today. Do we have any changes or amendments to our agenda for tonight? Hearing none, do we have a motion to approve the agenda as presented?
Motion to approve.
Okay, we have a motion by Commissioner Hart
Second.
and a second by Commissioner Blakemore. Any further discussion on our agenda? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, agenda is approved. In your packet and also available online to everyone to see the minutes from our last regular scheduled meeting that was held here on December the 30th, 2021 at 7 o'clock. That was the fifth week of the month. We were off on our schedule due to the Christmas holiday, but we did do our 2 meetings in December, so you have those minutes there from December 31st. Is there any questions or concern about the minutes that the board clerk has prepared? Hearing none, do we have a motion to approve these minutes as presented?
Motion to approve.
We have a motion by Commissioner Askew. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a second by Commissioner Stoltz. Any further discussion of our minutes? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, the minutes are approved as presented. Okay, under our new business, one of the things that we are charged to do each year is elect a vice chairman. So we have resolution R-001-22, a resolution of the Board of Commissioners of Walker County to elect a vice chairperson from its members. Whereas the Board of Commissioners of Walker County is the governing authority of Walker County, Georgia, as set forth in Act Number 165, Act passed by the Georgia General Assembly during the 2017-2018 session and subsequently approved by the governor. And whereas Part 1, Section 8 of the Act states that the first meeting of each year that the board shall elect from its members a vice chairperson. In the event of the death, disqualification, or resignation of the chairperson, the vice chairperson shall perform the duties and exercise the authority of the chairperson until a new chairperson is chosen as provided in the Act. And whereas the Act further states that the vice chairman shall preside at meetings of the board in the absence of the chairperson and shall serve for a calendar year in which he or she is elected. Therefore be it resolved by the Board of Commissioners of Walker County, Georgia, that, and we'll insert a name, is elected from its membership to serve from vice chairman for the remainder of the calendar year, so resolved and adopted 13th day, 2022. So do we have a nomination, or I guess we need really a motion for...
As our sitting vice chairman for the last year, I got off pretty light. Didn't ever have to really perform any duties of it, but enjoyed it, and I would like to put in the form of a motion to elect District 1 Robert Blakemore as our vice chairman for the calendar year.
Okay, so we do have a motion by Commissioner Askew. His motion is to elect Commissioner Blakemore. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a second by Commissioner Hart. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, Commissioner Blakemore will be the vice chairman. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Okay, the next item that we have is another annual function that we do as a board, the Resolution R-002-22, a resolution of the Board of Commissioners of Walker County to establish a regular meeting calendar for 2022, whereas the Board of Commissioners of Walker County is the governing authority of Walker County, Georgia, as set forth by Act Number 165, Act passed by the Georgia General Assembly during the 2017-2018 session, and subsequently approved by the governor. And whereas Part 1, Section 9 of the Act states that the Board of Commissioners shall hold a minimum of 2 regular meetings each month at the county seat, and whereas the Act further states that the Board, at its first meeting of the year, shall determine the time, date, and place of its regular meetings. Therefore, be it resolved by the Board of Commissioners of Walker County, Georgia, that the regular meetings will be held at, and we'll insert the time of day, the day of the month, and also the location for the remainder of the calendar year. So resolved and adopted the 13th day of January 2022. So do we have any recommendations or motions or any open discussion on this?
I think, Mr. Chair, knowing that Commissioner Blakemore, Commissioner Askew have some work conflicts, I would suggest that we keep the meeting time the same at 7 o'clock so that these gentlemen can make it to the meeting on time. So I can put that in the form of a motion and make a motion that we keep the meeting time at 7 p.m.
Okay, and since we've got this all combined in one resolution, it may be in good order to also address the day of the week and the location if you would like to.
Absolutely, absolutely. Same location and same days of the week.
Okay, so currently we are the second and fourth Thursday of each month, 7 o'clock here at the Walker County Annex 3. So that is your motion?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so do we have a second to Commissioner Stoltz's motion for 7 p.m., the second and fourth Thursday of each month here at the Walker County Annex 3?
Second.
I have a second by Commissioner Blakemore. Any further discussion of the board? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, the resolution is approved, and we keep the same schedule as we've operated under for 2021. Okay, another task that we have this year is the qualifying fees. This was passed to us over from our election office. So Resolution R-003-22, a resolution of the Board of Commissioners of Walker County to set qualifying fees for the 2022 general primary and general election. Whereas the Board of Commissioners of Walker County is the governing authority of Walker County, Georgia, as set forth by Act Number 165, Act passed by the Georgia General Assembly during the 2017-2018 session and subsequently approved by the governor. And whereas pursuant to OCGA 21-2-131A1 and A, the governing authority is required to affix and publish the qualifying fee of each county office to be filled in the, it says 2020 general, that's supposed to be 2022, I believe, correct? Should be filled for the 2022 general primary and general election. Okay, so we've got just a typo there. We'll mark through that, make that 2022. Whereas exacted otherwise provided OCGA 21-2-131A1B, such fees shall be 3% of the minimum salary of the county offices. Therefore, be it resolved by the Board of Commissioners of Walker County, Georgia, that the qualifying fee for the following county offices for the 2022 primary and general election shall be as follows. Positions: District Member, Board of Commissioners, qualifying fee will be $360. District members of the Board of Education, that'd be our Walker County Board of Education, will be $42. So resolved and adopted the 13th day of 2022. So do we have a motion to approve this resolution with the one clarification on the typo? That I would like for that to be included in the motion, that we correct that typo and make that the year 2022.
I just have a question. So at the 3% that you read about, so that's how we get the $42 on the school board? That's 3% of the.
They don't make much at all.
I mean, I just want to make sure we're okay. No problem.
Okay. All right, any other questions, discussion on this? Good question.
If there's no more discussion, I'll make a motion that we accept the qualifying fees here with, and also to amend the 2020 general primary and general election to the 2022 general primary and general election.
Okay, so we do have a motion by Commissioner Askew, and also with including the one correction, to accept the qualifying fees as presented. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a second by Commissioner Hart. Any further discussion of the board? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none. It's approved as modified on the date. Okay, our next one here I'll read for us is a resolution R-004-22, a resolution of the Board of Commissioners of Walker County to appoint a chairperson of the Walker County Board Alcoholic Beverage Commission. Whereas the Board of Commissioners of Walker County Board is the governing authority of Walker County, Georgia, and whereas one of its duties delegated to the chairman of the board is to appoint members and chairpersons to all committees of the boards with the approval of the board, and whereas Chairman Shannon K. Whitfield submitted the following appointment to serve as the chairperson of the Walker County.
Another typo.
Well, that's another typo. That should not be historic, so we'll scratch through that. That should be alcoholic beverage. Harold Hughes for the term ending December 31st, 2023. Therefore, be resolved by the Board of Commissioners of Walker County, Georgia, that the appointment of Harold Hughes to serve as chairperson of the Walker County Alcoholic Beverage Commission is approved. So resolved, adopted 13th day of January 2022. So Mr. Hughes has been our current chairperson, and again, we are directed to appoint the chairpersons of these committees each year. So do we have any discussion on this?
Mr. Chair, I would like to take the opportunity to, just to kind of get to know Mr. Hughes a little bit better. I've met him one time, but just kind of talk with him a little bit, get some input from him about how he would like to direct that board.
Sure.
And then after those facts are determined, I'd like to report back to the board after I have that chance, or you and I have that chance to talk to him.
Okay.
So I would basically like to make a motion to table this agenda item until further discussion can take place.
Okay, sure, yeah, I'd be happy to do that. So we do have a motion. Do we have a second to support that, just to table this for now?
I'll second that.
Okay, so we got a motion and a second to table this, and then by doing so, we'll get together between now and the next meeting and work hard to get this back on the agenda at the next meeting. Okay, so we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion on that? All right, hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, hearing none, we will table that action and make that correction. Okay, next item we have, this is an approval of an intergovernmental agreement between Walker County and the Prosecuting Attorney Council of Georgia for Coronavirus Emergency Supplemental Fund Program. This is a very lengthy document, but in essence what this is $55,062 to help them with some supplemental funds for their office. I won't sit here and bore everybody and read this. This is available on our website as well. It's multiple documents here, but there's not any match with this, but the Walker County government being the physical agent for the Lookout Mountain Judicial Circuit, we manage all of their incoming funds and allocation of funds coming in from the other counties on the pro rata share. So this is reason this action is on our agenda is because we are that physical agent. So we would like to be able to accept these funds so they can utilize these properly, and then our accounting office will manage this grant going forward. So any further questions on this?
Motion to approve.
All right, we have a motion to approve this by Commissioner Blakemore. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a second by Commissioner Hart. Any further discussion of the board? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, the receiving of the grant is approved. Okay, in the packet is the Departmental Statistics. Just due to the nature of time, I won't go through all of these tonight. I did want to point out a couple of things on this, and then y'all can view this. But just a hats off and shout out and pat on the back to our first responders. on our smoke alarms installed. Even through the month of December, they installed 14 additional smoke alarms. They did 368 for the year. They did 322 in 2020. So I didn't take the time to slow down long enough to add it up today, but I think that looks like well over 1,500 plus smoke alarms in the last 4 years that have been installed at no cost to our citizens. So just hats off to our team for doing that. That's a great service. Also, dropped down a few new single-family home constructions. Permits pulled both November and December each month, 17 new permits. So you can see that got us kind of a record number of the current data that we've had over the last several years, 157 single-family permits versus 150 last year. And that's just in the unincorporated area. That's not going to include our city partners. They handle their permitting numbers and tracking separately, but hats off to those wanting to develop and build and locate in Walker County. Also, I did want to share extra, and we'll get Joe to get this up as well, but our partners with the P52 organization yielded some phenomenal results for us in 2021. They are a nonprofit organization, faith-based, that tackled 33 cleanup projects in Walker County last year with the assistance of 1,016 volunteers. P52s removed 128.63 tons of debris. This total far exceeds the 2020 number. So, and just to give a little bit of background, in 2019 they did 27 projects, 2020 12 projects, and in 21 they did 33 projects with over 1,000 volunteers and removed a lot of debris and got these properties in compliance. So that's 33 more properties in compliance. So hats off and a big thank you to our partners at P52. They do this as volunteer to help the people in our community to give back. So we're very, very appreciative of their work and all that they do to help our folks in Walker County. So at this time, this is our time for our public comment. If there's anyone that would like to come forward and speak, we up to 5 minutes publicly. We'd ask you, if you would, preferably to keep your comments related to things in Walker County and things that we can have an impact on. But is there anyone that would like to speak tonight? Yes, ma'am, if you'd please come forward. If you could come up to the podium, please.
I'm used to it being
Yeah, we
I
did
was
move it
looking
over.
that way.
And if you would
Sorry.
state your name, please.
Sharon Rowan Nicholson, and I live in Rossville. Has to do with mean, erratic behavior. It seems to be going around. I'm not sure I know it's not just my area, Flintstone. Everybody is exhibiting people stealing everybody's mail out of their mailboxes. The family that just got hit on 193 Chattanooga Valley with her 2-year-old child from a hit and run. And then our street, Ridgeland. I've called the Lafayette Sheriff Department twice. I went there in last May to fill out the speeding that's going on our road, and it's getting tripled. It's getting scary, to even come out of my driveway. I have to back out the other way. So I know, and my husband knows, certain cars that are going up and down and just playing along with 80 miles an hour. My husband does not work, so he's retired. So he has a lot of time on his hands. It's quite concerning. So I just want to know what's going forward, what's going to happen. I don't see any patrolling around. We haven't. So I just want to know what's going on. What can we do about that?
Well, just a comment. First of all, thank you for coming and sharing with us. And I have heard something about some of the mail disruption over there, people getting some mail, and of course the tragic accident, or we assume accident with hit and run, I mean, you know. But I don't know, and these guys can help, it's just open for discussion, but those are law enforcement issues, and I know that you've reached out to law enforcement, and I think that with our partnership with them, that we could probably reach out as well and ask for some extra patrol and see if we can get, because you said Ridgeland Road, 80 miles an hour on Ridgeland Road?
Oh, yeah.
My
Yeah,
goodness.
I mean, we've got it straight downhill.
Oh, yeah.
It's easy.
Oh, I know it well. No.
I've talked to the residents there too as well. They said that there's empty houses, rundown houses, and I've gone and ridden by there, looking at, you know, what's going on, what they're talking about, and it's bad. And there's homeless people living back there. Our neighbor down on the right side, down on the hill, he's had someone flip in his yard. We've had a red truck hit our mailbox, and then clearly he was drunk because of the way he got out, but he didn't call the cops or anything. He called his friend to come get us out. So,
Ms. Nicholson, when you contacted the sheriff's department, did a deputy come out to your home and talk with you?
yes,
Okay.
he did.
Okay, all right.
And I understand that you don't have enough manpower on the force
Mark,
here in Walker County.
Colin talked a while back about some of this, and me and him had talked collectively about maybe the road department purchasing a couple of those trailers that displays the speed. You know, the sheriff's department has one or two, but we got a big county, so Carlin said maybe if we got a couple, the road department could carry those out and help with that.
I think that would definitely be a help, and I do know, because I've gotten the tickets mailed to me from the hidden cameras that catch you in Tennessee, if you're speeding and then you get a ticket, because they got they've got those that'll take the picture of the license plate. I don't know anything about cost. Carlin, have you looked into any of it at all, or?
I hadn't looked at any prices in a while, but the
Okay.
two that sheriff's has, they put them out in different areas of the county. I think that one of them may be available right now, they could maybe put over there and try it.
That would definitely be something we could try to help, but I would like to see us look and just investigate into what the cost would be on something like that, but that would actually record or take, because, I mean, if they're not obeying the speed limit signs and they're not the law enforcement or anything, it would help definitely to post it, because it shows, like you said, what you're doing. But I think to really enforce it, we're gonna need to be able to identify the repeating offenders and things like that. So I think together, Carlin and Robert Blakemore have got a good plan, and I think we can build off of that. Maybe try to get some more information and look into it a little bit and see if something along those lines, something that we wouldn't put it there forever. We could use it in other areas.
I believe the issue on Ridgeland Road is finding a place for it.
Yeah, there's not much
There's not
to the
there's not really a good
edges.
place to park one. We've looked at putting the sheriff's department's
Well, the little
unit there.
The little one that I'm referring to is on Missionary Ridge, on top of the ridge. I don't know if any of y'all ever go that way, but there is, and it's a small device.
I've seen those. Yeah.
But it'll get your tag number, because I can tell you that. But I think we should collectively just gather some information and see if that's even an option, and the cost would definitely be an issue. But working with the sheriff's department, with the road department.
There's only one sign that says 35 miles an hour, but it also underneath it says blind children at play or something like that. I can't remember. Deaf. Yeah. But that's in the beginning of Ridgeland going up. And then you go around, there's nothing.
They can look in the book, because the book's marked everywhere a sign should be, so they can get the road department to check that out.
I get that looked into Tuesday or Wednesday.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else tonight? Yes, sir, please come forward.
Thank you. My name is Charles Luton. I'm visiting from Rome today. It's my first good visit to Walker County and Lafayette, and I think it's a great place. It's really it exceeds expectations very comfortably. And I would also say in particular that your airport outside of town is very, very good, much better than most towns this size would have a right to expect. And I think you ought to be very proud of that, and the manager there, Mr. Barnett, who does a great job. So I thank you all for the hospitality, and gentlemen, I compliment you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, anyone else tonight? Okay, we'll move forward then on our agenda. Commissioner comments, so Commissioner Blakemore.
Appreciate the ones that came out. If I can ever be assistance, call, text, or email me. And thank you guys for putting your faith in me for vice chair.
Commissioner Askew?
You know, same thing, you know, the involvement, the participation we get helps us, and we talk about that every week. Do want to, like has been stated, this coronavirus has kicked up. Everybody please, you know, try to be safe and do the things you need to do. And like I said, if you need something, reach out. Same thing, call, text, or email.
Mr. Rowe?
Yes, agree with everything that's said. One thing I'd like to point out, in District 3 on the north end of Lafayette, there's a new restaurant opened. First one in a long time in there. The new Dairy Queen opened up there, so I'll stop by, check it out when the line's not out in the road. Another thing I want to point out, you know, Walker County gets on the news a lot, and it's not always good. There's sometimes a negative story. But last week on the news, there was a great story about our sheriff who had been in place for 25 years in this county. So if you don't know Sheriff Wills, he's a great guy. We're lucky to have him here, and just want to throw a shout out to him for that story and what he's done for the county.
Mr. Stoltz?
I agree 100% with that. Sheriff is a great guy. We're very fortunate to have him in our county. Just want to thank everyone for coming. Looking forward to 2022, and as previously stated by other commissioners, COVID is just rampant, and so I know everyone has COVID fatigue, but wash those hands, social distance, just keep that in mind. It's going to be with us for a little while, so let's just do all of those precautions to try and quell that. And Commissioner Whitfield mentioned Chris Burris. Chris was a great guy, a wonderful friend, had been to my home many times, and just want to let the Burris family know that we're praying for you guys and just terribly sorry for your loss. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Okay. Next item on our agenda, we do have some reasons for some executive sessions. I'd like to make the motion that we go into executive session for personnel, real estate, and legal matters. So do we have a second?
Second.
A second by Commissioner Blakemore. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, we will stand adjourned at 7:32, and then once we complete our executive session, we'll come back and close out our meeting. Thank you for coming. Okay, we're going to call us back to order. It's Thursday, January the 13th, 2022 at 9:14. We've just come out of our executive session. There's no further action of the board at this time, so do we have a motion to adjourn this meeting?
Motion to adjourn.
A motion by Commissioner Stoltz. Do I hear a second?
Second.
I have a second by Commissioner Hart. All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? We are adjourned. Thank you, fellas.
I'm very proud.
Okay, yes.